everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. This is Simone De La Croix. I'm a US lead for Good Arts and Culture, and I'll be leading this breakout session. So I'm really happy to be here. Glad to be participating, even though it's virtual for me. I wish I could be in the energy of the moment with you. I hope you're having a great conference today. As you might hear with my accent, I'm actually currently joining from France. So I'm leading the team of Good Arts and Culture in the US, based in New York, but currently visiting the rest of the team in France. We're a small team. We're based out of Paris, London. And our mission is to build technologies that make the world's culture accessible to anyone, anywhere. So I hope everything hearing me okay. Yeah, I see that the sound is good. So that's great. So what does it mean to be building technologies that make the world's culture accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world? Well, to do so, and as you will explore Google Arts and Culture, actually, before I forget, what I wanted to suggest before we start this session is for you to pull out your phone. It's authorized. I can't see you, so I won't be mad. And it's actually encouraged. So what I would love you to do, since it's a breakout session and it's supposed to be fun, is if you want to download the Google Arts and Culture, it's a free app. During this session, do it right now. This way, while the introduction, you can get it started. And I'll have some exercises or some pages for you to visit later, so you can follow the presentation I'm doing and try it for yourselves. It's always better than to hear it from someone doing a conversation and a presentation from Paris. So go ahead, download it, and you'll soon understand how it works. So Good Arts and Culture, it's an app. It's a set of tools for partners. It's something we started 10 years ago, and that we're only getting started with. What's the app called? It's called Google Arts and Culture. Let me put it in the chat. Here you go. And also have it on top, Google Arts and Culture. This is the one. Here you go. So what we're doing is that we're partnering with museums and cultural institutions from all around the world, and we help bring their stories online so that they can reach a wide audience. So as you can see here with these numbers, we've been at it for a while, but we're just getting started because the world is a vast place and culture is an infinite, has infinite possibilities. But one way that we are helping partners that you will see on the platform is that we first and foremost help them bring their collections online and digitize their collections with these few different technologies that we have. Tabletop scanner to bring their archives online, art camera to digitize in ultra high resolution, and museum view to create 360 panoramas in order to create virtual tours. We have partners in every part of the world, and more specifically, and since I'm in charge of the US, we have an amazing number of partners in the US and really great partners of quality. So if you're interested and if you've downloaded the app, a good way for you to explore this map is to go open it, look at the menu, click on collections, and you'll see the map of all the collections in the world. And you'll be able, if you're curious, to zoom in the city you're from, the part of the country you're from, and find collections from partners. No, Christina, yeah, Paris, France. You'll find collections from where you are, hopefully, and if not, soon. So that's the concept. We partner with cultural institutions. We help them bring their collections online. And then our job is to leverage all the technologies possible to make their content available to a wide audience. And as you will see, we have few ways of bringing those experiences to users. So we have the Google Arts and Culture app that I just mentioned, and I encourage you to download. We're also obviously part of Google and Google Search, so our work and our partners' content is visible there. And then obviously we're making the most of all the third-party surfaces that are available, from social networks to YouTube and so on and so forth. So really trying to play on all the different surfaces we can to make culture accessible to anyone, anywhere. And we are following three main principles. This will be important as I continue this presentation. Again, since it's a breakout session, I'll focus on play in the first first moment of the presentation, but we will spend a bit of time learning about stuff today together. And sharing is your job. If you like the presentation and the app, don't hesitate to share it. But even more importantly, if you find stuff interesting on the app, please share it to friends, to social networks. That's what the app is for. So I will start, as promised, with the fun parts. Technologies from digitizing collections to make them visible in AR, in 3D, in virtual reality, and so on and so forth are allowing very interesting connections and very interesting ways for users to access the art. And we are firm believers at Google Arts and Culture that finding engaging, fun ways for users to interact with art is a good entry point into our partners' collections that are then a beautiful rabbit hole that you can keep digging if you want to learn about a topic. But what I'll focus on right now are a few ways you can use the app to have fun, to engage with culture, and then you will see in the process, learn about it. The first way, so here, that's when you can open the app. I'll do it with you, so we are on the same page. You open the Google Arts and Culture app, and you will see the main camera tab button at the bottom in the center. If you press on it, you might have a prompt to authorize the camera access, so you can give that. And then you will see a menu at the bottom allowing you to slide between different experiences. One big experience that we are known for is the Art Selfie. I don't know if you've been part of this viral moment a few years back. That was our first experiment that we built, and that's why you see the slide. And so it's part of the menu of the camera tab that I just mentioned, so please get started and enjoy. And here, really, you get the essence of what we're trying to do. We partner with museums to have as many portraits as we could online in our corpus. And then using algorithm and machine learning, we're able to create a match with your own face and find percentage of matching with paintings and portraits from the collections. And this way, it allows you to navigate a worldwide collection and find connections, maybe with some ancestors in Europe or in Latin America. And then, again, in the process, you can discover more about the artwork that has been suggested to you by this feature. So that's for the Art Selfie. I hope, again, I don't have a visual on you, so I'm hoping you follow along, or that you can do after it. Another tab, since the Art Selfie was so popular, and what would we do without our furry friends? We expanded the experiment to pet portraits. So back home, when you're back, don't hesitate to also try it on your pets. It's something that's available, so it's something you can browse at the bottom of our camera tab, the pet portraits. Another very cool feature that we have is the art projector. So this one, it's fun, but it's actually a real learning tool. We've actually tested it with a few curators, namely at the Getty, because by projecting an artwork of your choice in your surrounding space, so that's what this GIF is showing you, and that's what you can do around yourself. You select an artwork, you scan the space around you, you drag and drop it, and boom, the artwork appears. It's around you, you can walk towards it, you can zoom by doing so. And what's great with this tool is that it actually allows you, without going to a museum, to get a sense of scale of the locals decorated is a good one. Indeed, if you're a bit bored at home in your living room, and bear in mind that a lot of those experiments actually were developed during the lockdown, so it was indeed a pretty good relief to use that at home when we were bored. But what's great, again, is that here you get a sense of scale, which is not something you automatically get from an image online, right? But by having the physical dimensions given by your partners in the metadata and having the augmented reality experience that is taking in account the dimensions of the room around you, you get a sense of scale. So that's great, and actually quite surprising, because some artworks you thought were bigger are actually very small, or the other way around. Sometimes you're familiar with artworks, but you've only seen the image online and you realize that they're actually massive. Similarly, we've developed the art transfer. So here is the idea of you take a picture. We're all taking too many pictures. I'm guilty of that. And sometimes you want to get creative with them, right? So you can mix and match. You can even select a portion of your picture, as you can see in the little GIF here, that you like and that you would like to give a little treatment, a little art transfer style. So you can choose an artwork you like and apply the same style to your feature. And that's actually something that I don't have on the slide, but if you click looking into the Art Camera tab, you will find experiences that are similar and that are building on this idea. The color palette allows you to take a picture around you, select a few colors, and then have a selection of artworks that are matching this color. So again, if you want to redecorate your interior and you're not sure what to choose, you can maybe draw inspiration from artworks. I highly encourage you to try the new art filter feature that was released not too long ago, where you can, using dynamic augmented reality masks, so you can see yourself in the doing the Scream by Edvard Munch, or being Van Gogh. I actually have, let me check. I do have a little video here. Let me play it. So you see how it works, but that you can do. So here it will show you how someone from our team was demoing Van Gogh or some helmets. So that's also available from the app. And the slide that was just before was a pretty cool experience that we're offering and that we call Poket Gallery. So it's at the far right of your camera tab menu. And here what's great is that we're inviting you to jump into an online world where the physical limits don't apply. So for example, what if we could curate a room with all the Vermeers in the world, which is something that you will never see happen in the physical world because it would be too complex logistics-wise and in terms of lending the artworks and so on and so forth. And also some artworks have been unfortunately lost. Well, with our Vermeer Poket Gallery, you can actually make this experience and walk in this virtual world physically and learn about all those paintings. I highly recommend you to also try out the Klimt Poket Gallery. That's going to be bringing you on a tour of this virtual gallery to learn everything about Klimt. And what's great in this gallery is that you also have some music audio. So a very interesting experiment to have as well. Art filter, I think I did mention it. So let me go to the next slide. Okay, yeah, art filter. Okay, so I've given you a few ways to play with the app. I hope it was fun. I hope it fit the bill of the breakout session. And now I invite you to learn a little bit with Google Arts and Culture. It's worth noting that all the experiences that you just tried, all different AR, AI experiments, you will notice that there's always a fact to learn from the partner, that there's always the possibility to then click on an artwork and discover more, really look at it in minute details. And that's what the platform and what those entry points are really for. And so when you start exploring the platform, well, I mentioned earlier rabbit holes that we have. I'll focus first with what I've been doing with my team in the US for the past 4 years. To give you a taste, and a taste indeed, since we'll be starting. I'll be starting with a presentation of the US cities that are represented on Google Arts and Culture. Indeed, when I first took the position of US lead 4 years ago when I moved to New York City, I asked the team, great, I know the big cities on the two coasts, I know museums there, but what's in the middle? That was my question. And without really waiting for an answer, I'm like, let's just go for it. Let's go discover, partner with the institutions on the ground to try and create online experiences, online hubs, where you can learn everything about, and you see here the first cities we started with, Kansas City. So since I said, let's go for it, we picked Kansas City, which is kind of right in the middle of the US. It was a great first city to launch. Let me quickly show you what it looks like. So this is what we call a theme page on Google Arts and Culture. Are you following me? Yes, you are. Perfect. So on Google Arts, again, you can find all the collections, all the partners here. And they all have individual pages that they manage. So if you have your favorite museum, please go there. You can save it as your favorites. You get a notification when they post new content on arts and culture. But what's great is to really explore all the different themes that we've been publishing, from manga to Mali to Afrofuturism, Bob Marley, and so on and so forth. There's really a lot of different themes on the platform. And what's a theme? It's very simple. It's a page that is trying to be as exhaustive as possible on one given topic. So obviously with culture, it's never possible. It's always a work in progress, but it's a beautiful one. It's a beautiful effort. Because in this case of the Kansas City theme page, which was our first page dedicated to US City on Google Arts and Culture, well, what we've managed to do was to partner with 18 proud local institutions. I'm sure you'll recognize the names, some very famous brands and museums, and beautiful collections, some lesser known, but also extremely vibrant. And what we've decided to do, and to kind of set the tone for this US City project series, was to try and capture what the cultural DNA of a city would be. So if you start, all those little thumbnails are clickable and will allow you to get an intro if you don't know about it, learn small articles, dive into street views, discover videos, and so on and so forth. And so again, like trying to capture the cultural DNA, we go beyond just the art institution. We talk about what's on screens and in songs. We talk about you can't do without it, the KC barbecue experience. So a great story here. I hope, you've eaten. Yeah, so this, there's never a bad time for a barbecue. But you will obviously learn a lot about the Kansas City barbecue style and the different venues that you have to visit when you're in town. So that's just an introduction, and then we partner with local businesses and local artists to show, locals that we're making the city alive. And as I scroll down again, you can click on each of these stories. I'm not doing it because it would be too long, but you can see how chapter after chapter you unfold in front of your eyes the different disciplines, the different chapters of Kansas City arts and culture, story, past, present, and future. So I'll stop here because it's a long page, and I won't show the other ones. But if you're interested, use the search bar. So either you go on our theme menu, or you search in the Google Arts and Culture app search bar for Milwaukee, Charlotte, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and you'll get the experience. I hope you will like it. I hope you'll like it as much as I do. It was a real pleasure for me as a foreigner to go through these collaborations with local partners and to work with these different cities to bring their representation of what they do online. And you will notice also with this platform, so obviously I'm speaking to you from a US point of view with the US projects we're doing, but we always keep in mind that it's internet, it's a global audience. So Kansas City, we start with the basics. If someone like me from France goes on the page, he needs to understand and he needs to get situated. So that's what we're doing. Moving up, learning, again, about diverse cultures and communities. So it's a topic that's super dear to my heart because, again, like moving to the US and trying to learn as much as I could about the amazing countries that are part of the US. I had the pleasure to develop all those different hubs. Some were actually started way before me. So it's a work of love that we keep on developing every year. Again, this platform is a big work in progress. It's never a one-off. When we launch content, when we partner with new partners and bring their content online, it's dynamic. There will always be new technologies, new experiences, new ways to showcase their content. And so it's always a conversation, and it's always call it a phase 0 or 1 that has to turn into many more phases. And so that's what we've been doing. For example, the Black History and Culture Hub has been around for 8 years already. So 8 iteration. Usually we launch new iterations for the Black History Heritage Month. We've done the same with Asian Pacific American culture. I highly encourage you to visit this one. I'll quickly give you, oh, not this one. I clicked on the wrong one. Show you, so Asian Pacific American cultures. You will land on our second iteration of this hub. Extremely proud of this one because we've had, so you see again, like, and always we're partnering with a lot of cultural institutions, over 50, to bring all this content online. You always get an introduction to the topic. And what's been great is that we partner with a Loli, a New York City-based illustrator that has created this beautiful banner for us, as well as the little icons and the different parts of the design on the page. So it's always great to see artists like that represented. And same principle, you can discover about Asian American poets, artists. You can jump to all the stories, all the photos, all the connections, and so on and so forth. So highly recommend for you visiting that in order to learn about these great collections and expertise. And so on and so forth. You get the principle. We have a great page dedicated to Pride coming up with a new iteration. Can't wait to be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month in September. And it was with great pride too that in last November, with the first set of partners, we've launched the first page dedicated to Native American Heritage Month. So it's the last one you see on the right. Indigenous Americas. Principles, always the same. You start to get it. We bring together partners. We help them bring their collections online. They do all the curation. And what we do is that we help them bring everything together in these different hubs. Next, and potentially final slide. So please think of your questions. I'll be here to help and answer. But inviting you to discover this new project that was just launched and that I think encapsulates the different actions and different approaches that we're trying to develop on Google Arts and Culture: the learn, the play, and the share. So I'll quickly open it and show you the page, and I invite you to search for this Mali Magic on Google Arts and Culture to discover it in more details. You can see here the list of partners that we've worked with, and in a nutshell, what we've done is that we've partnered with these institutions to digitize the oldest manuscripts of Mali. I don't know if you're familiar with the Timbuktu manuscripts, but it's been a labor of love of many years to digitize over 40,000 pages of the Timbuktu manuscripts. And there's a way for you to browse and experiment. It might take a little bit of time for me to load. But you get here a way to discover all those 40,000 manuscripts in an application that you can use. You scroll to navigate and you start. It's a bit lagging, I think, with the video. It's getting harder for me. But you see how you can get up close with those pages. Click on one to inspect it in detail. and go to another page. So obviously it's in Arabic, so it's from right to left. But very beautiful manuscripts and a moving experience. So you can go, you can do this, and explore the manuscripts this way. And then you can come back on the theme page to learn more about all the culture that's surrounding them. There's been, for the first time on Google Arts and Culture, a collaboration with an artist, Fatoumata Diawara. And she actually created a whole album that you can listen to and it's been released. That is the soundtrack of this project, and that's a commentary on the manuscripts. You can, so there's something to learn, something for the eyes, something for the ears. You can explore the oldest mosque in 3D, since the platform is supporting 3D. So I'm showing you all the different possibilities of the platform, so you get a taste. And again, I wish for you to come back and get the experience on your own, at your own pace, with Wi-Fi that is charging a bit faster than this one. With my video feed here, the 3D model is taking a bit longer to load, but you get the idea of how it works. So very rich content on many fronts, and a very colorful and playful way to approach the content, but tons of things to learn. So yeah, we're hoping that you will like, learn, and share again. So that was the presentation I had for you today. I'm around for Q&A, really, so don't hesitate. Let me maybe, well, I'll keep the page open in case I have more to show. So I'll start looking at the questions that have been dropped in the chat. Feel free to ask more. So Regan, interested in the platform to connect cities' arts and culture centers with local history. So if you're interested in sharing this with institutions from your hometown, from the city you're living in, or just contacts, best way is to go on the About page, and there's a button, Inquire Partnership. So that's one way to get in touch with it, and the easiest way. Thank you, Dan and Amanda. A pleasure. I hope, again, I don't have a visual, no feedback, so hard for me to gauge the audience, but I hope you managed to make the different fun experiments and plays work. There's another question from Regan, I see. So is the content added easily, downloaded, removed, accessed via an API, etc.? So indeed, so it's a content hosting platform, right? So we partner with the institutions. It's non-commercial and non-profit, so that is a condition that applies when partners come to us. And the way it works is that we open a content management system for our partners to bring their collections online. So obviously, when we digitize their collections for them, we also do the upload. We don't retain any rights on the file, so they keep everything. But then they have this content management system that they can use to quickly publish, curate the content. All the stories that you've seen or you will see on Arts and Culture has been curated by an easy story editor tool. And removing is also, I'm reading the full question, removing is not a problem. And in terms of an API, we don't have one on Arts and Culture because we would, basically we're protecting our partners' content, so we don't allow download of the content unless the partner is actively in a open data mindset, if I may say. So a good example of that is the Met, who came to us a few years ago when they were doing their announcement around open data, open access. And they asked us to add a little download button. So all the Met collections items on Google Arts and Culture, you can download them if you want to remix them, print them, use them in some way. But not yet an API. That being said, for partners that have an API and want us to use it to quickly help them bring their content online, that's something that we can do. So I'm reading a question. Curious if you run into any ethical or equity concerns during the design of the product. How did you navigate? So I'm not part of the team really producing the product. I'm a program manager. So what I do is I help our engineers partnering, working with the different partners that are coming online. But I think so on this one, I'm happy to, if you want to contact me in private, so I get your contact and so I can get back to the engineers and try to understand better what's your question. Happy to take it, but I can't think of any top of mind concerns, since again, what we're trying to provide partners and users here is with a platform that's powered by our partners' content. So we will let them curate all the stories that you will find on Google Arts and Culture. What are some future plans for the platform? Hey. Well, from a US perspective and without unveiling too much, more cities to come very soon. It's a great favorite of mine, this project. So I do intend to bring more and more cities. So it was great to read that there was enthusiasm and people willing to connect us with more cities. And then in terms of technology, I can't really share anything. Obviously, that's still confidential. But we have a lab in Paris that's always iterating, always thinking of what's the next experiment technology we can apply to arts and culture. If you want to find all their work, that's the last tab I haven't presented yet. So if you click on this one, it will bring you directly to the lab, the arts and culture experiments page, where you will find the latest. And so all of these experiments are, well, most of them are also used on the app directly. So I've showed you the Timbuktu manuscript experiments, but they also live here as standalone if you as a repository of what's possible with technologies this day in arts and culture. So if you're curious to understand what we're doing and where we're going, I think that will give you an overview. I think we're getting to the end of the Q&A list. So I hope it was insightful for you and you had as much pleasure as I had working on it, discovering it with this first round of intro of the different experiences. And I'll keep, what I'll do is I see there are some last minute questions. I think I'll wrap up now for the public answers, but please send me your questions in a private message so I can reply to them. Don't hesitate to connect via the open platform, and I'll be super happy to assist you and to answer you on any question. So thanks again, everyone. It was great to spend a bit of my evening with you, and I wish you a great rest of your day and great playing, learning, and sharing on arts and culture and beyond with all the work that you're doing. I've heard the conferences is going really well. Lots of great stuff shared. So wish I could be there next time, maybe. Thank you again, and hope to see you soon.